Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. So we had a kind of a longer than I thought it would be meeting on Wednesday, but we got through, we had some tough things to get through on Wednesday, one in particular. But first, we had some announcements, and one of the things we did under our announcements is we recognized Dave Franzuto, our Emergency Management Coordinator, for 28 years of service with the town of Nantucket. He hasn't always been the emergency management coordinator. He started out as the harbor master and then moved into the emergency job around 2012 or 13, something like that. In any event, we thanked Dave with a plaque. We had a card for him that half the island signed. And next Friday, mark this down if you know Dave and want to say goodbye to him. Next Friday, October 13th, Friday the 13th, from 10 to noon at the police station, second floor, there's going to be a drop-in, a coffee kind of a thing. And you can go wish him well there.
Who's taking his job?
Brendan Coakley, who is currently a sergeant, is going to be taking the job. He will, I can't, it's hurting me.
But you know people are going to
I'm trying not to.
All right.
Why
don't you put it on?
Scratching me really badly.
Put it on differently. Right.
So Brendan is going to be taking over the duties of Dave, and he'll.
He's a what?
He's a police sergeant.
Oh.
And it's pretty common for lieutenants, sergeants, police positions like that to also be the emergency management coordinator.
Oh, so we save money?
We save a little money, but there's going to be some reshuffling within the police department for needed other positions. But it's a bit of a savings.
Okay.
We also had a quick update about our sewer project that's ongoing. It's currently in the area of Vesper Lane, McLean, and Tashima. And David Gray, the sewer director, will be in weekly to give a brief update on where we are. We are having a public forum on recreational marijuana, including laws, regulations, rules, the new law, and the articles that are on the November 6th special town meeting on Thursday, October 26th at 4:30 at the police station community room.
So this is recreational?
Recreational.
Not the medical stuff.
Retail and recreational. If you have
Got it.
questions, concerns, comments about that topic, please come to the public forum. The board really wants to get public input on this.
What's the
Pro,
date
con,
again?
otherwise. Thursday, October 26th, 4:30, Public Safety Building. Children's Beach Boat Ramp is going to be closed from the end of this month, October 31st through January 15th. The annual town meeting warrant is now open for citizen warrant article submittals until November 20th. You have plenty of time to be working on your article if you want to submit something. And if you'd like to get some legal consultation, town council will be available for anybody to drop in and meet with him on Wednesday, October 18th from 2 to 4, and Thursday, the next day, October 19th, from 9 to 11, here in the town building. Special town meeting of November 6th starts Monday, November 6th at 6 o'clock at the high school. Oh, and if you are not a registered voter already and you want to register for that special town meeting, you need to register to vote by Friday, October 27th at 8 p.m. down here at the town building. Okay, so the big thing this Wednesday night was a medical marijuana dispensary group was seeking local approval for the opening of a medical marijuana dispensary here. So this field, this area, is primarily regulated by the state right now. But locally, if you want to open a medical marijuana establishment on Nantucket or anywhere, you need what's called a letter of non-opposition, which basically is a letter that says we do not oppose this, or a letter of support, which basically says we support this, in order to move forward in the state process. So we've already approved one a couple of years ago. Now we have a second. The first one, as we understand it, no longer has the location that they initially came in with. They are apparently in the process of securing another location. That will have to come back to the board. So now there's a second group in, and they have secured a location. So to make a long story short, there were a lot of comments by the board members, and they seem to be wanting some additional information, including there's a kind of a buffer zone around the medical marijuana dispensary that, you know, you don't want children to be within. You don't want there to be a school there. You don't. So there was some concern about a couple of businesses that are close to the proposed location, which is at 11 Amelia Drive.
Dr. Roberts.
Dr.
building.
Roberts' old building.
He's retiring.
He's retiring. And there's a dance studio, so there was some concern about that. The Artists Association is within some close
more than 500
proximity,
feet.
probably. So the board wanted some more information on what that proximity rules or guidelines specifically are, and whether or not a dance studio would be something that would be an issue. And they also wanted to understand things like, okay, this gets complicated. A medical marijuana dispensary, if they have had their state approval and all their approvals prior to July 1st, 2017, may convert to a retail establishment. So the group that's already gotten their approval can convert. So there was some question about, well, would this group convert? Now, they didn't shut the door on it, but they didn't say, yes, we would. They said their primary focus is medical. So there was some concern about that. There was a little bit of concern about having two facilities. So to make a long story short, we're going to try to get the board some additional information as they requested, and this is going to be taken up again probably on October 18th, tentatively.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
All right.
So
I can understand why they want more information, but wouldn't they have already had the information? Partly the board?
well,
why
they have a
They
good
didn't
amount
want
of
to make a decision.
Well, they have a good amount of information, but when you go through something like this, there's always other questions that come up that, you know, can't always be anticipated ahead of time. So that's part of it. And part of it I think they're really struggling with is something that the community would want to have.
I don't think no one's fooling anybody here. There's no way they're going to make enough money in the medical marijuana business to have two of them. It's basically to be in the position to get the retail spots.
Well, there's a lot of speculation about that, for sure.
There's no way. You can't figure it out. It doesn't make sense. But the place that they want to put it is in not a bad location. Do you think? I mean, it's already a dentist building.
Yeah.
It's a medical place.
Yeah.
And as far as children knowing where it is, they're going to know where it is anyway.
Well, everybody's
They're
going to
be
know
educated. It's education. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like enticement. They're being educated that it's a place where.
Yeah, there are definitely lots of opinions about this.
Oh, I know. But and by the way, I did put it on my website, the entire hour and 10 minutes.
Okay.
So
It
if
did
people
take
really
quite
want
a while.
to see
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
they
great,
should see it because
great.
it's very interesting.
Good. In other selectmen news, the board also discussed what comments it might want to make on the November 6th special town meeting warrant articles, and they made a couple. Next week, October 11th, we have a lot of these same announcements. We are going to have a moment of silence in respect for the recent passing of our old friend, Bleck. Bleck is a canine. He's an officer of the police department. He did recently pass away, so we're going to do a moment of silence for him. A couple other announcements. Veterans Day. Saturday, November 11th is Veterans Day. There will be the usual observance ceremony out here at the War Memorial next to the town building at 10:30 that day, November 11th. What else are we doing next week? Okay, next week, the DPW director is going to come in and talk about the Consu Springs Stormwater Improvement Project. And there's been something of a shift in the thinking of that project. Still doing it, but the scope is going to change a bit, or is
What's the
proposed
issue there?
to change. Well, the issue there is that pond itself, you know, the water quality is pretty poor. And so the idea is to do some stormwater improvements so that there's more flushing, but also it's an area where stormwater, that's what
I
it goes.
figured, yeah.
So, you know, I don't know all the details
Right.
of the pipes and the flow and the whatever, but I do know it's a project that's been going on for a while. So he's going to come in and give a bit of an update about it. We're also going to get an update about the 6 Fairgrounds Workforce Housing Project, the town's project. And hopefully the Affordable Housing Trust is going to come in and give the board an update on their plan for the use of town funds that have been appropriated for them. Oh, we have an HDC appeal.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
what happened?
The HDC appeal is an appeal by a citizen of an HDC approval of something to do with property at 15 Bassett Road. I haven't looked through the file yet, so I don't know what the concern is, but
Okay.
HDC appeals generally, let's say this, run long. So that's next week.
So that's next week?
Yep.
Okay.
In other news of town government, we are working on the budget for the next fiscal year, fiscal 19. We're working on fiscal 19 capital project reviews. I mentioned the drop-in. We've got the special town meeting coming up. We've got the annual town meeting coming up. So we're busy with all that stuff, not to mention the day-to-day and some other things. So that's it.
Okay.
Holiday weekends, yay.
You get Monday off, don't you? Wow.
Oh, thank you.
You going anywhere, or you just...
Well, I might be going somewhere next week.
Next week?
Yes, I'll report on it when I return. How
Okay.
about that? How
So
about
it's
that?
a
I'll let
secret-
you try to guess what it is all about. But I think you might not see me at the meeting next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I plan my absences around HDC appeals.
Got it. Smart.
You'll see why if you watch it. Thank you very much. See you next time.